What is up, everybody? Welcome to the After Chat. Ham Radio Crash Course After Chat. We're going to be talking some JS8Call, but nope, we're talking about all ham radio along with it. So if you have questions about ham radio, feel free to hang out. Join us on the Discord, join us on the Twitch, wherever you feel like hitting us up, and we'll be getting started soon. Link is in the description for the Discord. You feel free to join us over there if you'd like to. All right, everybody, how's it going? So, following along, you think to yourself, hey, what is actually happening here? Josh just finished a live stream and he's live streaming again. Well, I live stream the After Chat. The After Chat is the voice and text chat on the Discord. And we dive into all kinds of topics. Generally, we try and talk a little bit about the live stream we just finished, but we try and cover everything. If you have questions on ham radio, we want to help you out. That's why we're out here. So I'm going to jump into that chat right now. I am remote right now, so I know there's going to be some kind of problem with the audio. Just bear with me. I'll get it sorted out. But away we go.
Never gotten that radio on digital with the CE19. It was too much of a hassle. I didn't want anything to do with it. So,
yeah, the only I had my G90 on digital, and it literally melted the cable, the power cable, because I literally had one of the first ones on.
About as hell to modify and at least step
so
it
I
up
can
to
pick
like
the audio that way. You guys hear that?
12
audio.
or 14.
Uh-oh.
it's here. Josh is here.
Hi, Josh.
Liberty Gibbets. He's still
Hey, Josh.
on daddy duty.
Still staring at his camera.
Mm.
You know, I've came to the conclusion I still kind of meet up with you. We can get the lovely antenna back.
So here, no, not yet.
Okay.
I learned something at Huntsville. I
Yeah?
tried not to, but it ended up happening anyway.
Doesn't that
so-
suck?
I know, man. So I was talking with the guy. He's like the Yaesu guy from New Zealand. I forget his name. I think it's like Richard or something. But I was actually hanging out at the Yaesu booth for quite a while, just talking to people and talking to him. And he was learning me about the ATOS. When I hooked up this thing and I couldn't get it to work, it said it was tuning, but it wouldn't do anything. So I gave up on it. He's like, no, you got to wait, because the ATOS, the circuitry is so bad, it doesn't know where it is. This is him telling me this. So you have to just wait for the radio basically to just let it do its thing, and then like after a minute, it literally just started moving up or down or wherever it was supposed to go. So,
Give it a
I
minute.
think that's.
Give it.
It was literally like a legit minute.
Yes. Okay, Mike. I don't disagree that that's true, but the best solution is always grounding and bonding.
Yeah.
Does anybody have experience with the ICOM version of like what's similar to the ATOS? I know
They don't have one.
ICOM has one.
They do not.
They don't have one.
I thought they did.
No.
Yeah, it's called a Tar Heel and an auto tuner.
No, I mean, there's no ICOM
Right on.
branded screwdriver antenna that I know of.
Oh, I thought they did.
No.
Do they not? I thought I looked one
Well,
up.
they do
That's a
have
hard no.
They
No.
do have an antenna that's automatic, but it's the same sort as the Australians use, and it's about $3,000.
All right.
Oh, dear.
Let me
Yeah.
kick this whole thing
Okay.
off.
Yep.
How's it going, everybody? This is the Ham Radio Crash Course After Chat. Thanks for taking the time out of your already long day watching me live stream, hopefully, to join us out here. We like to try and answer people's questions with ham radio. That's our goal, but also have a lot of fun while doing it. hopefully. So if there's anybody in the chat who's here for the first time and would like to ask their question, now would be a fantastic time to do that. Introduce yourself and ask your question. Anybody that's been waiting, go for it. All right, well, we'll come back around in a little bit, but generally...
Wait, Josh.
Yeah, go for it.
All right, yeah, ham radio hef, K4 HEF. So, I'm in an HOA, and I have the go-to antenna, and I have a Messiaen Poloni cable going out to it, which has helped a lot with I have it attached to a MNP, or not MNP, sorry, MFJ one-to-one sort of, ground isolator or whatever it's called. And then I have it with a bunch of toroids on it, and I still, if I'm below or above 40 meters, like if I'm going down to 20 and I'm going down to 17 or 10, I trip all my breakers, and I know my breakers are crap. And I've heard a lot where people have been replacing the breakers with more robust breakers, and I'm wondering if that's the route I should take.
So let's walk through this again. Your radio, how does your antenna connect to the radio, and then where is your antenna and your tuner?
All right, roger that. So it's only if I'm going over 25 watts. My antenna is about I want to say it's the go-to antenna. And I tried it with the DX Commander as well, same results. And it's about from my back patio window, about 40 feet. Not very far. I have a very small backyard. And it's with the and it's weird because for a while I was running it on 20 meters with no breakage of the breakers and stuff, and then all of a sudden it started happening again. And so I was wondering if it's the breakers.
Well, wait, hold
and
on. So
it's
what
very-
changed? It didn't do it before, and now it is doing it. So what changed on your shack
Oh,
since then?
Oh, sorry, Josh. No, it was doing it a lot with the DX Commander. It was doing it a lot with my buddy Stick Pro, and things like that, with a lot of return on the common mode. And I put a common mode choke. That's what I meant. With the MFJ common mode choke, and then I got the DX Engineering ferrite PL259 cord, or SO whatever, and that helped a lot, where I was able to work the lower bands without tripping my breakers, 40 and up, right? But with the higher bands, with 20 and higher, I do trip my breakers, and I look at my IC705, and I'm not seeing a lot of impedance coming in. With the meter.
You shouldn't trip
but
breakers. Yeah. So let me jump in here for a little bit. You shouldn't be tripping breakers. So that's a bit much. Who makes your breakers? What kind of breakers are they?
That's a good.
By the way, since this is like a Discord thing, it's really easy for you to take your phone, take a picture of it, and upload it to the Discord, upload it to the hashtag livestream chat. Show us a picture of your breaker and proximity, and let us know what the proximity is of your antennas. It's entirely possible that you may have to upgrade your breakers, but I've really only heard of one individual who had that problem, and they did have to upgrade breakers. They had the Lexin breakers, and they did have to go in and replace them.
That is what I have.
Oh, then yeah. So you actually can contact the company and let them know that you have some kind of issue with the breakers. They should not trip on that. That should not happen. Contact the company and let them know what's going on.
Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I think somebody had mentioned that and I forgot. But yeah, no, thank you, because I've been racking my brain going, I'm not getting any common mode back. I'm using, uh, rig expert analyzers and all the junk. And I'm like, what the heck? Like, why am I tripping my breakers? And that makes sense. So thank you so much.
Yeah, right on.
I got something to ask about the breakers.
Yeah, go ahead.
They're not GFI breakers in the box, are they?
No, these are the main breakers, and I'm running my radio off a battery, so it's not. I don't have my radio plugged in,
Right, but I
and
mean,
yeah.
in the box they do make a breaker that has its built-in GFI, and if they do have built-in GFI, those will trip
Oh,
really easy with
oh no,
RF.
that's a good point because I think on these whatever you called it breakers, I think they're GFI. There's two different versions of GFI, and I think they're the poorer version of GFI. Is I want to say. Um, I can't remember now because it's been almost a year since I researched it. But
Uh,
and I just kind of gave up and just started operating in parks and stuff.
Well,
Comment?
But
so
yeah,
I would, at this point, we're speculating, so I would suggest you contact the company and explain what's going on and see if they can help you. And then if they come back and say, not our problem, then, then come back and talk to us and see what we can do. But I think that's probably the problem.
Well, the only reason I added that is because when
thank
I
you.
finally got home and put my shack together at the house, I had a couple of GFI breakers in the box, and every time I'd key up on the 7300, it would pop those two breakers alone. So I took them out and replaced them with a standard non-GFI breaker because it was weird. They had a GFI breaker, but in the bathrooms they had GFI outlets, so they were doubled up in a sense. So since they were already there, I just replaced them with a standard one. Fixed the problem ever since. Haven't had an issue.
Sure.
Comment?
Yeah, go ahead, comment.
We had a problem here with floating earths. If you're running off a battery, make sure that you ground the house earth and the earth on your radio together, because otherwise you can get a floating earth, and anything you connect to the radio isn't necessarily grounded,
Mm-hmm.
and you can blow
Oh
up
yeah.
external devices. So, like we took out a load of G90 dongles, not realizing the floating earth was 30 volts above ground.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah. No, and I'm a very I was a physics major, and I should have considered that. So, oh yeah, and if I ground my radio, yeah, that may solve it. Thank you.
There you go. All right. We got some weird audio stuff right now coming in. Okay, good. I think we're all right. All right. Anybody else out here for the first time that'd like to say hi or ask a question? Come now.
Josh, did you sort that radio out you had the technical hitches last week with? The one the kit radio.
No, that has so Ashar Farhan has made a post over on his groups.io page about they're having faulty finals or having issues with the finals on that radio, and so they're sending out replacements to all the people that purchased them. That it is a known issue that they're dealing with. So I will be replacing mine here once they show up.
Oh, cool. I was just thinking that when you had the top turned at 90 degrees, you may have contacted the Pi on the 5-volt rail with the case of the speaker.
Yeah.
But if that's the case, I didn't know if you did or not, and I didn't see a flash or anything. I just thought there may have been a chance,
I went back and looked too. I went back and looked at that exact thing, and I definitely did not. I definitely.
Oh, that's
did not.
fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you know how these things go.
Oh yeah. You're watching it through a video with a weird angle, and you're right on for questioning that, because I was thinking that myself. I was like, oh, I had to have done this, but then I posted on groups.io. I'm like, so short to ground. What is this? What's going on? And then like a ton of people, posted that no, it's a known issue, and they're working to fix it and all that stuff. So if you do end up getting one of these radios, you might want to make sure that it's not already tuned out of the box, that you don't have to do anything. you shouldn't have to mess around with it, says Ashar Farhan. So if you have it, check that first, check some power output, and go from there, and then think if you have to do the tune-up process or not, because it's possible you don't.
Oh, cool. Thanks very much.
KO4PDI here.
Go ahead with the question.
Hey, Josh, it's Mike. I got some info on posting your spotting for POTA with APRS IS.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, it should work if you're using the APRS gateway.
I just typed it. You don't even need the gateway. All you got to do is go in with your computer, put at APRS IS, CMD, POTAGW. That sends you to the POTA gateway. Then you put colon, your call sign, your park, your frequency, and your mode, and then any comment you want to add.
Nice.
I haven't tried it, but we should have tried it up in Huntsville. I didn't have my laptop with me to copy it. I had it saved on one laptop, and we could have tried that up there.
I see your I see the format for this. So got it. POTA GW, call sign, park, frequency, mode, comment. Love it. Yeah. So it's very much the same format as the APRS spot that you can do for yourself on Parks on the Air. That's awesome. I've done that before.
By the way, I didn't come up with that myself. I got some guy from England showed it on one of his videos. I have no idea who it was, but I put it in the computer when I heard it, and I figured I'd try it if I need it. And of course, I didn't have that computer with me when I was up at Huntsville.
Yeah, right on. No, but that is the same format for APRS, so that makes perfect sense. That's how it works. So.
Yeah, Josh, I was at Parks on the Air a couple months ago, and I did a spot on APRS, and I swear, because I didn't have a signal on my cell phone, and it worked like a dream. And I was getting, like, after about an hour, I was getting frustrated, and I was like, oh, let me try this on APRS, and boom! Pile up.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, yeah. And, when we talk about, like, prepping and everything, radio gets out, and you got a good point when you're talking about some of the prepping stuff that you do on your podcast and stuff, and I love it, and I've been following a lot of the same advice, and I was Navy, and I was in Hurricane Katrina, Hurricane Ivan, Hurricane Rita, and you name it, and it was a tragedy. But I was part of Mars at the time, and radio is really the last line, and it gets out. So thank you for doing what you do, and really being such an awesome YouTuber, and really, you're awesome. Thank you.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. No, I appreciate the kind words. A lot of the stuff, a lot of the times we're just trying to work it out together, like we just did kind of right now with the POTA spots. A lot of stuff, POTA spots are important because you need to put yourself out there so that people know when you're activating. Not everybody is the Mike Cade MRDs of the world, if you will, right? But a lot of that's so highly leveraged on the internet, right? We're utilizing the internet for spots. We're utilizing the internet for ham alert and all that other stuff that goes into it. So just being able to make some of these contacts with some of these advanced modes, like I was talking about on JS8, it's important tools, important stuff to have in the ham toolbox, if you will. So yeah, I appreciate the kind words there. All right. Who else? Anybody else out new here in the after chat that'd like to say hi or ask a question? By the way, everybody that's watching on YouTube or Twitch, the link is in the description or my show info on Twitch to join our Discord. And you scroll to the bottom, #live-stream. There's a text chat, and then there's a voice chat right underneath it, and then you can join us out here. You can just chat on text, or you can ask us questions in voice. No big deal either way. So, anybody else out here new for the first time that'd like to ask a question?
Yep.
Go ahead. Yep.
So, I have a question about Motorola handhelds on DMR repeaters. So, what would a Motorola handheld radio DMR compared to like any other standard DMR handheld?
What's the question?
What would a Motorola DMR handheld compared to any other common DMR handheld radio?
Oh, equally as hard to program. The Motorola's are going to be more robust, probably more expensive too. Are there Motorola guys in here that can go into further detail than that?
Heyo.
Side boom.
Side boom's here. Go for it, man.
So, after sinking a lot of money into Motorola and trying to figure everything out, I can tell you that with Motorola, one, you've got to fight to get your access to their software. And yes, there are free ones out there. We've all seen the posts and talks about it and that sort of thing. But I will tell you about this. It's use at your own risk, because I've seen a lot of people get virus bombed that way. But besides that, Motorola has their own fancy way of setting everything up compared to, like, I've got an 878, way easier to get going than any of my Motorola HTs.
Oh, good to know.
You won't be able to do programming on the fly. So if you want to add a quick group in or something like that, you got to go back and download the code plug, edit it, upload it back to the radio. I mean, unless you just like Motorola, they're not worth it for when it comes to DMR. Because a lot of the newer stuff you'll find will only have entitlements for either DMR or analog. If you find a radio that has both, someone spent the money, or if you just find the one with the digital entitlement, you've got to go and purchase a analog entitlement so it can work as robustly as a amateur radio would in that same retrospect. Other than that, I mean, it's a fun learning curve, getting to learn both sides of the spectrum.
Aren't there differences in the displays you can get?
It depends on the radio that you grab. A lot of people will know, like the APX series radios, which is what a lot of police departments are still using. They go from basic all the way to a full-blown color display that you can load your own splash screen when you turn it on. But those are usually in the 1,000+ range to get, and you're locked to a single band, unless you spend like $2,000+ on an APX that does UHF, VHF, and then usually it's like a 700-800 megahertz split. But as far as overall useful, like, I have to carry two Motorola's to do what one of my any other radios will, because you got to have both to get both band coverage.
Interesting.
But as far as being tough, yeah, you could run over that thing and it probably won't even flinch.
I don't know that I get it with Motorola radios. I don't know why they're so popular, other than cops use them and they're robust, but the headaches that you have to go through to program them, it always scares me off the process. It always keeps me from wanting to go down that rabbit hole.
Would you like me to send you some with the programming cable so you can get adequated to the system?
No, I don't think so.
The
Not right
software's
now.
free.
I'm too busy.
That's the only great thing about Motorola right now, is that they finally released like CPS 16 and the Moto Bro, what is the new digital software. If you go and sign up for a Motorola business account and give it a week or two, and then call into the help desk and tell them that you're an amateur radio guy that would like to utilize the Motorola software, they'll push you through without needing all the stuff like a normal business would. So that's how I get all my software. So,
but that's like wild,
it's free
right?
now. Yes,
like that's like, I don't know, the backdoorish nature of it. Like, I gotta call a guy to make this work. Is, I don't know.
It's kind of how they kept their stuff secure for so long. You know, Big M's.
Oh, is Shane here too?
Yeah, I just heard you guys talking about Motorola's because that's all my department uses that I work for.
Shane wasn't even in the after chat. He just heard in his brain like the force. Somebody was talking about Motorola on the HRCC after chat, and he knew he had to join.
We said Motorola 3 times.
That's right. Yeah. Beetlejuice.
Oh, come on, you guys. Jesus.
You could just sense it.
I'm kidding.
I could be accused of that one also.
I'm kidding.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like them, but they're just like such big chungus radios, and I mean, I just got done doing my little $100 radio review where I'm like, look at this little tiny guy. This tiny guy's great. I like little tiny radios. I don't want these big handies that I'm going to carry around. I don't know. It's just crazy. I get it. I know why they're popular. I'm not saying they shouldn't be. I'm just saying it's not really my jam, if you will. You know what I mean?
If you're gonna do Moto Turbo with Motorola, stick with the XPR 7550 and CPS build 16 or 60. Excuse me, CPS 16 build 823, because the R7 is a pain in the butt to program. So the 7550 is the best bet.
Well,
yeah, but that R7 is beautiful looking now.
Yes, it is beautiful. But
how much is
it really worth the hassle?
How much is it?
Depending on your dealer, it's like $1,200 to $1,500 a radio.
Good God,
very expensive.
But that's the other thing that kills me. Like, now don't get me wrong. Now, Sideboom and Shane, I'll probably be in contact when the inevitable day that I find, like, what's the one that, big chungus front programmable that shows up at the Hamfest all the time, the 1500 or something like that. Like, if I end
5,000 or it's a 3,000. Both of those are the ones with FPP in the front.
Okay, yeah. So if I end up with one of those, I'll probably reach out to you and be like, "Hey, I got a smoking deal. I picked up one for $100 or whatever." What?
I'll go ahead and tell you.
Yeah.
Stay away from the 3000 series unless you want to break out that Asus EEE machine from
I do not.
95 because they do not like 64-bit operating systems. It's 32 only.
Okay, good. I'm glad you mentioned that.
But 15 or the 1 series, the 2 series, and the 5 series all will work on any modern machine without any kind of weird hackery.
Yeah, there was a reason that it was $100.
Yeah, but I mean, if you've got the stuff to do it, it's literally. Yeah. Well, I will say this too: it does require its own programming cable. I can program the 1, the 2, and the 5 series all off the same cable. 3 requires its own pinout.
Right. Now, so Sergeant Adon, by the way, feel free to join us over on the Discord if you'd like to be on the voice or text chat over on that side. But he makes a good point. He said, I quickly learned when I used to put a DMR class to ham radio community that ham simply refused to put forth the effort to learn how to make a code plug. Now, I know how to make a code plug. I'm fine with that. My problem is purely the headache of getting to programming competence on a Motorola, right? These are radios that are designed for first responders and other commercial type environments, and we're hamming our way into them, right? And so we got to play their rules, their game.
But check it out, though. It is super simple. Once you learn their terminology with what Motorola classifies stuff as, you're golden. Like, if I was to send you one of my XTS 1500 right now and a cable and the software so you can play with it, if you look through the code plug that I've already built for it and see how it rolls out, you'll be programming in probably 15, 20 minutes. It is not super hard, but if you have to start scratch fresh with no code plug built into it, you'll scratch your head a little bit.
Got it.
Hey,
but at the end of the what's that?
What's the whole thing about the code plug?
Code plug's just another way for radio programming.
Mm-hmm.
It's a memory set, but the memory sets are a bit different. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, Sideboom, we've got another video we got to work out, I think, before we get to Motorola, but I'll add that to the list of things we need to talk live about. We definitely need to come back to that first thing, by the way, when you're free.
Which one was that? We've talked about a few things.
CB.
Oh, yeah, we're gonna do that live stream on. Yeah, we didn't go look at the DMs, man. Slide back into your DMs for me, or I'll ping you right now and be like, "Hey, remember this?
Remember me?"
Oh no, yeah, you just sent me a message not too long ago about your new Alinco. See, now, I am a big fan of those Alincos, but there's only one model that I can accept. It's the one that's dual band with the speaker. I have to.
Yeah.
That's the one I've got. So, okay, everybody that's still hanging out, anybody new here for the first time in the Discord that would like to say hi or ask a question, come forward now.
Hey, y'all, my name's Nate. Can you guys hear me?
Is that the Devil Doge 31? Nate, go for it.
That is me. So, I background law enforcement, Marine Corps. Here trying to learn about radios primarily for emergency communications for my church.
Okay.
As well as just communicating with my family.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I've got the Baofeng, done that, Aubrey antenna, all that jazz. I'm trying to figure out, what is the next, I guess, best step up from a Baofeng that would give me the ability to do HF SSB as well as UHF VHF. I guess what's a best bang for buck all mode radio I could get that would be mobile in a vehicle, not a base station.
How much?
Because I'm trying to stay.
How much you want to spend? How much money? How much?
I'd like to keep it under $1,000 for sure. But
you have one option. You literally have one and one only option. It is the ICOM 7100, and it is made for mobile applications.
I was going to say the same thing.
That's it.
Yeah, but it is kind of a base radio. When you say mobile, you're not talking handheld, right?
Correct. I'm talking in a vehicle.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is a desktop kind of radio. Yes.
So hold on. Somebody's got a hot mic. Is it POTA by example? Can you mute yourself there? WA7PBE.
That's not a very good example.
I was about to
mute him. 857. Look into an 857 off of eBay.
Yeah, well,
that's
so he said under $1,000 though.
So you can get them under 1,000.
You can, but here's the problem. Okay, so first, let me go back a step because I don't want to forget this point. The 7100 has a base, a base to it that you hide away in the car somewhere, and then you have the head unit that you mount up forward wherever you want it. All right, so that works great, and it also has one USB plug. So if you ever want to do digital modes on the mobile, that'll work too. The problem with the 857 is that all 857s, they never fixed it, suffer from a defect, where eventually they'll get vertical zebra lines on the screen. And it's only perturbated by having it in a car in a high heat and high sun environment. There's really no way around it. They all get them. They're not hard to fix, but it's just one extra thing that, you could avoid this by just not getting that radio and you'd be fine.
7,000 then.
7,000 doesn't do... oh, no, you could do 7,000. Sure.
Yeah. I mean, it's the ICOM equivalent of the 857, at least in my opinion. But I've got both, and I enjoy both. But the thing is,
with the one USB cables.
Yeah, and it's not the 7100 is in some cases not a lot more than getting either of those two radios used. Those radios used, one of the reasons they're used, or they go for as much as they do used, is because they have a nostalgia factor, and the 7100 is still being sold, so you're not going to be paying for that nostalgia factor.
Right, you get a warranty to go along with it.
Yep, and you get D-Star also.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so
that sounds like the one to go with.
Yeah, specifically with your requirements, that hits all the marks.
And you can very easily add a GPS to it. It will not do APRS, but it's very easy to add a GPS to the 7100.
Awesome. And then, thank you guys so much. And then if I have 10 seconds for one more question.
Yep.
My parents have a 60-foot antenna tower behind their house. They don't use for anything. It was there when they moved there. Is that worth something salvaging if I was to set up a base station later on? An old, just 60-foot tower?
It's going to totally depend on the quality of it. The problem with a lot of the old towers is that they're eaten through. They're not technically safe. In fact, some of them are, mostly rust at some point towards the bottom. So you have to be really, really careful with those and how you actually recover them and get them to the point that you could take them away to your home location to reuse it. So be careful, I guess what I'm trying to say. Mm-hmm. You should probably contact somebody in a ham radio club that's a tower climber or knows a lot about towers to come take a look at it.
Thank you guys so much.
Yep.
Yeah, one way I would suggest that you could use it if you have a drone is to take a wire antenna with a drone and drape it over the tower. Then it might be worth it. But otherwise, what Josh is saying is 100% true. Don't get on it and climb on it.
Yeah, my concern is that if he had to move it to his home, then he's going to have to figure out how to take it apart.
Oh, yeah.
I like Don's point about the drone. The problem, though, is that if it's metallic, then all of a sudden the tower becomes part of the whole thing, and that's always a mess in its own right. So,
I'll get someone to look at it. Really appreciate it.
all right, cool. Thanks for the question there, and thanks for joining us on the Discord. All right, anybody else in there with the first time here for the first time would like to ask a question? Go ahead.
Go on now. 7-3. I'm out.
All right. See ya. Anyone else?
Kilo Alpha 6, Radio Tango Lima, stroke Alpha Golf.
Hey, go for it. Alpha Golf.
Yeah, Robert in Laguna Niguel, California. I upgraded on Thursday, applied for VE Thursday night, got it Friday, and did my first test session today.
Wow. Busy man. How'd it go?
As far as I know, everybody passed.
Well, I mean, don't you know as a VE?
Yes, but I don't know exactly how much I can say, so I try to keep it a little vague.
Okay. Got it. But very good. I mean, as far as the how did it go in sense of like what was your enjoyment level? Did you enjoy doing that test, or were you good? How was it?
It was a little nerve-wracking at first, but then once I observed a test first, then it made a lot more sense. And the first technician test that I administered, or helped administer, I should say, went very smoothly. Applicant passed, and I got to sign off on it. So that was awesome.
Very good. Love it. Well, thank you for doing that. Thank you for bringing more people into the hobby. We need more people doing that, so thanks for that. Do you have a question, or was it just you getting out there?
Just wanted to say hi. I've been popping in and out of the live streams here and there. I actually ended up working for a while down at Legoland California Resort, and they use a lot of Motorola.
Oh, okay. Right on. Very good. Okay. Anybody else in there, first time, would like to say hi or ask a question? Come now.
Hey, Josh, for some reason I'm not seeing the messages come up in the chat here.
Which messages?
The chat messages on to the right of the column where everybody's talking here in Discord.
The one you want to be on is the one that's two above the live stream after chat.
Hashtag
the one
live
that says
dash stream.
Right. Yeah, we don't use the other one.
Okay, got it. Okay, I'm on there. All right, thanks, guys. Sorry.
Lots of mosquitoes out here. Holy smokes, I'm smacking mosquitoes like crazy.
Yeah, we paid them and everything.
Oh yeah, Josh. You don't got mosquitoes like we do in South Carolina. Trust me.
I didn't expect many of them up here right now, but that's my bad. Okay. Let's see. Moving through the list. Anybody else here would like to say hi or ask a question? Go for it. No bear sightings, Alan Beckman asks.
Oh, I have a question. Another one.
Okay.
So we have a local 10-meter net called the Ragchu 10-meter net over here in South Carolina, and I've tried it with my DX Commander, and I've tried it with my Go-To vertical, and I don't hear anybody. I hear other stations, but I don't hear anybody local. And I'm wondering if my takeoff angle, or not even my takeoff angle, I'm not hearing anybody. So I don't know why. And let me give you a couple things. My house is kind of in a valley-ish, not much, maybe a 30-degree angle between the hill to the left and right of my house, so not much, where my antenna is still above that. And I don't know, 10-meter, I can't hear anybody local, And I'm wondering if, because it's a vertical antenna, if my takeoff angle, well, no, again, I keep thinking about takeoff angle for sending, but I don't hear them either. So I don't know what's going on. And my SWR is good and everything. And
so hold on. You said you can hear people, you just can't hear local people. Is that right?
Yeah, I can hear people.
Yeah.
But it's usually for their stations.
Yeah. How local are we talking? How local are you trying to hit?
Well, I'm trying to hit maybe 50 to 100 miles.
Oh, long antenna. Yeah, you're all talking over each other. You're never going to hear people that close with those two antennas. Those are just not going to do that for you.
Oh God, thank you. I summarized as much, but thank you so much.
Yeah, you need something called NVIS, Near Vertical Incident Skywave.
I have that, and I will switch it to
Set it up, but then keep it low. Set it up and keep it low, parallel to the ground. You don't have to go over 4 feet high.
I have an NVIS.
Oh man, you're right there.
Well, I have an NFED that I built. And it's awesome. But I haven't used it in about 2 years. But I have it going around my fence. It's an 80 to 10 meter antenna, and it great. I did use it when I became a general, and now I'm an extra. But it didn't even occur to me to try that. So thank you so much. It is an NVIS. I have it about literally 4 feet above the ground on my fence.
Yeah, just use that.
So yeah. Thank you, Josh.
Yeah, right on.
I really
cool.
I found with experience from CBNAS that 10 meters likes a bit of height in order to get local. It likes to be a bit sort of 20 foot off the ground, sticking an inverted V up. If you want to get the local things.
Oh, did I misunderstand? Are you talking local 10 meter net?
I think that's what he said. I think
Jason. Yeah. What frequency is the net on? Jason Heff. You're muted. Oh, you may need the PTT button.
Or he went to get a drink.
Yeah, that's fine. So when
he was talking about 10.
He was talking about 10 meters?
Yes.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Interesting.
I don't think what you said was wrong, though. I mean,
no. It's not right, though, because you can't really do NVIS with 10 meters, and most people aren't doing horizontally polarized antennas for 10 meters, I'm assuming, that he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. So honestly, the dumb question for this one is just reach out to one of the hams he's trying to hit that's 100 miles away and ask him, what the hell are you using? That's what I would say.
Mm-hmm.
So, DX Commander is great for, long range comms and if it's out in an open field, but on 10 meters starts to need a bit of height off the ground,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, I've worked people 10 meter invis, 10 meter ground wave near me.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think that it does well on invis. Ground wave, yes, but invis, no.
Well, generally NVIS is all 40 meters and lower. So I was wrong in that sense. So I completely take back what I said. So I missed that 10 meter comment. So NVIS is great for 40 meters and 80. That's kind of what I got set up right now. But for 10 meters local like that, I feel like you should be able to hit. So I would literally, I would ask them what they're doing, and I bet you it's one of two things. One, they have a slightly different antenna than you're using, and they have it configured a slightly different way, and they're probably running power, I'm guessing. So
either they're using a 2LE beam or something, or they got a dipole, or I experimented on 11 meters with putting a dipole in L shapes, and I found that worked quite well local.
Yeah.
Or a V was another one that I was going to start experimenting with until the nice man took it away.
Yeah. No, I'm with you, Mike. I like that. So I'm almost back to the stage now. I'm almost back to getting me
me V-shape antenna. I bought all the kit to make it now. So,
all right. Well, let's we'll take a break from the action a little bit. We got a couple of YouTubers in the house. Going down the list, I see Scott, ham radio for non-techies. I feel like you've been busy, so it's good to have you back. What's been going on, man?
Well, I've been I touched this earlier in the chat before you got on, but I've been really working on a new channel. I'm opening up a secondary channel based on some stuff that I had from my current channel. And I didn't want to merge the two. I want to keep ham radio, and the new channel's it's going to stay its own niche, so it'll kind of just even out that way.
Oh, what is it? What's the new niche?
I am starting up a cooking channel.
Oh, wow.
So I've been a chef for over 20 years, both privately and professionally. I worked in quite a few kitchens and restaurants around the Houston area, but I've got some really killer techniques and stuff that I can show people and get them over their fears of cooking in the kitchen, show them how easy this can be with the proper techniques to avoid bad habits and stuff like that. And I think I got a good thing going with that. So I'm just working my butt off, getting a new studio set up in the kitchen and getting things rocking and rolling.
Oh, I love it. Awesome. Do you want to drop the link in the chat for your channel?
Yeah, I'll probably do it here in a little bit. I'm still working on a couple things. The channel only has one video. It's kind of actually a crappy video from 6 months ago.
Right on.
But I'm still working on getting a lot of the other videos going. We're going to go through the kitchen fundamentals, a lot of different stuff, but it mainly is getting out there and just cooking some really badass food. And, I think people will enjoy it. I mean, ham's got to eat too, right?
Indeed.
And some of us just like to watch cooking shows, whether we can do it or not.
There you go. Something for everybody.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us out here. Anything you want to mention on the ham radio side or either side? I don't care. Go for it. I don't care.
Yeah, I'm still working on a couple things with the ham radio stuff. And that channel's not going away. I'm not going to, take away from that channel to support the other channel. The ham radio is my first love. Just cooking just happened to get in the way, and people like to eat, so why not? But yeah, I'm working on a couple new things with the ham radio stuff. I got some new videos coming out. The weather out here has been really crappy lately, as Mike can probably attest to. It rains randomly now. We haven't had rain for 5 months. All of a sudden now it rains every day randomly on us. So
yes.
But the weather's getting a little bit better. I actually went out today and it was like 75 degrees. It's beautiful outside. So I went out and did the yard, and I was thinking, wow, it'd be a really good day to be out in the park doing some POTA or something like that. But I just didn't get around to it.
Right on. All right. That's very good. Thanks for joining us again. And it looks like we got Mike KMRD is next. Buddy, how you doing? You've been busy.
This is not my definition of getting of the weather getting better.
Okay.
It's been raining. It's cool out now. It's like 73. It's too cold. Mm-hmm. It rained today. I lost power. Benefit, I got on the radio and had like zero noise floor, so that was cool. Got the X50105 set up on FT8 with the D19. So I'm going to do a video on that because a couple people were asking about that. But yeah, this is interesting timing on this video, Josh. I've been anyone that follows me on Twitter has been watching me suffer trying to get the G90 to get on digital with the DigiRig. And
yes,
I finally got it. So.
It was an interesting. The way you got it all sorted out was pretty interesting to me.
It was all FL Rig's fault.
It was. Don't turn the radio on until you were completely up and running.
Well, no, you have to do these certain steps in DigiRig.
Right.
Not all the time. This is just like in some people's universe. Mm-hmm. Computers don't like to work as well for them as they do for others. So I had to fight with this for 4 days. And every day I'm like, all right, I'm giving up. And then the next day I was like, I want to make this work. So I guess that's a benefit of being a stubborn German. But yeah, I've been doing a lot of digital lately. I've just been sitting on the porch at night after working and playing FT8. I've been killing it with the contacts. So pretty great. And now I literally just put JS8Call on the Jankopotamus like 2 nights ago because I was like, oh wait, I don't have that. And now here you are doing a JS8. And like every time I get into JS8, I'm like, all right, I know the fundamentals, and then I never use it and forget it. And then you do another live stream on it, and then everyone does JS8Call again for 1 day out of the year.
No, it's a really cool tool though. Like if you think about it,
I know.
I will lay this down in the sense of like, I'm not a hardcore comms prepper guy. Like, I don't have a ride or die comms group that I set up skeds with and then we work through all this stuff. But like, if you've got a group of buddies and they all want to get on HF and they want to be able to communicate, JS8Call is like where you should start. Like, you should start there. Lay down your foundation on that. Of course, like single sideband, sure, whatever. But like, having the capability that we talked about on the live stream for JS8Call is invaluable. It's really important to have. So, yeah,
well, it gives FT8 a purpose.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
It's awesome. It's an amazing tool, but I never use it. I mean, nobody uses it. Typically, if you turn it on, it's like there's nobody there.
It's hot right now on 40. Apparently, 40 is the band though for JS8Call.
Yeah, because the hundreds of people that were watching your live stream are all on JS8Call.
No,
right now.
but 40 meters in general is like the hot band for JS8Call. It's actually very active. Yeah. It is. I mean, it can't. Nothing can be as active as FT8 is. I think we know this, right? But it is still. Wow, is that really? Wow, it's all dark on the. Okay, I got to change that lens. But yeah, it's still useful. Like, there's still a lot of people using it. So.
Well, maybe I should get on here more.
Yeah, I tell myself that too. I've got to also make sure I'm constantly getting on WinLink. I feel like I'm not doing WinLink enough.
Yeah, I haven't even gotten into that. I'm like baby steps into digital. And it honestly all started with the $60 computer. Because now I want to do different things.
Find the dog. Sorry, my kids are yelling at me that the dog is missing. I said, the dog is inside. And they said, no, he's not. No, she's not. And then I heard her bark. So, all right. Who else we got? Anything you want to mention, Mike, for your upcoming week? Or you're posting links to stuff right now?
Well, no, I was just answering Hot Carl's. He was talking about some RFI on digital, and this computer starts acting crazy. Watch that video. It's probably your USB cable with the ferrites and whatnot. I just stumbled across these cables on Amazon, and they were reviewed by the hamradio.world, the girls, the Lee family. And that's what they use in their boxes. And they're stupid cheap, and they are awesome. They're like gold-plated and have ferrites on them and all that stuff. So that could solve your woes. Or you have RFI coming back down the shield of your coax.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully you don't have that. But you choked, and chokes are your answer. Ask Josh. He knows a thing or two about that.
Yep. When in doubt, choke it out. That's my quote.
But, so I've got another video on the G106 coming up. I'll probably post that Friday.
Another one?
They did an update. There's a firmware version 1.1 that I did. I'm curious to see. I'm talking with Fred VE3FAL on Twitter. He's got one. He's like, everybody's experiencing different things with this radio. So I'm really curious to see what everybody's reviews are going to be like. So I've got that, and then what the heck else did I just film?
I feel bad.
And that
go ahead.
Sorry.
No, keep going, and then I'll add my comment.
I have a video on the DigiRig and the Zygo G90 that I'll post on Wednesday, I believe. I don't care if you don't watch the entire video, but the first 30 seconds of that is probably the best thing I've ever filmed and edited.
Oh.
I just do a little skit in the beginning.
On the DigiRig?
Yeah. I've wanted to do this for a very long time, years. I've just wanted to film this, and because I have my G90 in a Go box, this was the perfect time to do it. So,
okay, good. I'm glad.
There's a really cool intro to it. So, I think. I mean, it's stupid, but it's cool.
I will check it out. So what I was going to say is, so everybody's experience with the G106, I appreciate, is vastly different. But I feel bad to you, Mike, and then to also Shegu, because I feel like the radio that I sent you got damaged.
That's what you say. That's what the hell's her name? Sherry says.
Because I
don't think that's the case,
but
unless
I didn't have
just
your
so poorly soldered.
but I didn't have your problems. That's the thing. My audio sounded okay.
Did you test it the way I did though?
Where you transmit audio into something and listen to it? Yeah. You're
Well, I'm using the 7610 to be like a scope for reference.
Yeah, of course. And
I do more of that in this video.
And then also the digital mode. Like I was able to make a FT8 contact on it without any problem. So
yeah.
And then you got it and it was like, it's, you know, all bets are off. And I was like, holy crap. And I'm like, so, you know, whomever used it, whoever shipped it, it was USPS that we shipped through. And so it's like, well, crap. Well, you know, they drop kicked it down all the stairs to get to Mike, I guess.
Right. But still between between the two of us, there's been 4 of these radios just to get a good review. Or some kind of review.
So my first one just was DOA basically, and then my second one
didn't a part fall off of this circuit board?
The part came off. But that was a straight prototype. They said that they're like, this is a prototype. We don't know how it's going to function, et cetera, et cetera. Then the one I sent you worked great for me, but then you had all the issues. And then now you're like, now we've each got a new one now, and we're all, you know, updating, you know, whatever. I just did the live stream with it today. Worked great. No problem.
Why did they send you another one?
I got it a week ago.
Follow-up video?
I got a week ago.
Why though?
Why? Because when you posted your video with that audio, I'm like, okay, be straight with me. Are the versions we got the final? Because that's what I asked for. I'm like, I want the final to be shipped to people version. And they're like, we think so, but there's been a couple of firmware updates, and we'll just send you another one. And if you want to make an update, you can. And I said, okay, do that, because it's kind of wild.
You not know which ones you have. Like you're either taking a big shipment of them or you're not.
Well, but this is what's wild to me, Mike, and I think you probably agree. I get some of these early advanced radios, and I'm kind of shocked that they want me to make videos on them, because they show, like the 6100, right? That first video I did with the 6100.
Yeah.
Thing was not working correctly at all. Had a ton of problems. And then they said, oh, that's a prototype. And then they sent me a new one. And it's like, well, I still made a video saying it's got problems. So do you want me to do that? Like, because that's what I'm going to do. If you send me a radio, I'm going to talk about it, particularly if it's a brand new radio that nobody has. I'm going to make a video on it, right? So it's always really interesting to me. They really want to be like strong out the gate, which I appreciate, but sometimes they're just like way too early to be that aggressive with what they're doing. And I
don't think they ever even told me that the one I had was like a pre-production or a prototype or whatever. So now technically I have, well, I mean, I've had the same thing you do. It may or may not be the final. I'm pretty sure she said it was the final version.
So
even still, it has problems.
Right. So the first one I got, the one that never worked, that was a prototype. Then I got the one that you got after I played around with it, and I didn't have a problem. So now I'm thinking it's just a QA nightmare. Okay, fine. But they've released firmware since then that have improved, and in fact, the update that you just loaded, I'm assuming, is the one that has.
Well, I didn't say it improved it. I just said I put it on there.
Right, but it unlocks AM on the new version.
So what?
The mode AM.
Yeah, I know.
That's what I'm saying. So like they are putting out new updates.
Yes, they are. We're not in disagreement there.
So
they are. I mean, it's typical Zygu fashion. That's what they do.
You know,
it's just whether or not these updates actually fix anything.
Right. The wild aspect about all of this is, like, if you get right down to it, I was the big advocate of the $60 laptop. Is this the same type of thing? Is this the $60 HF radio? I know it's not. It's a $300 HF radio. But is it the same kind of idea?
Here's my biggest concern. Here's my biggest concern with this, and because I deal with this, and I think a lot of us deal with this a lot,
right?
Who do portable activations because we're out there, and you know, people are always all the OMs are hating on Baofangs because they say, oh, they have spurious emissions and this, that, and the other thing. And yeah, they do. It's the early versions for sure. It's not. I don't think we care about it as much, just because it doesn't really affect our day-to-day lives, at least anywhere I live, because simplex and VHF is just not popular anywhere I've lived. On the HF bands, though, we've got, we're on 40 meters right now. We've got 300 kilohertz of bandwidth to play with. And the generals are at, 7175 to 7300? So if you're doing an activation, then you get some guy that's overdriving his amp. So now they're splattering. So now that's taking up that bandwidth and making it unusable. So if we have these cheap HF radios that are splattering, and don't get me wrong, I love the form factor. I love that, they're trying to innovate and get cheap HF radios out there, because Japan is completely ignoring that. I've said this before. But if we're going to have radios, HF specifically, that are, I don't have a problem with them being entry level or their lack of functions. I don't care about any of that. But if they're not going to be spectrally pure, then I have a problem with that, because you're just going to be splattering the bands.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, I can see that.
I mean, imagine 5 people out doing a POTA on the same band with one of those radios, and they're splattering. Now you have 5 people that are splattering the bands.
Yeah, I do have a testing rig pass-through. I should probably do that into the spec amp.
That's what I'm doing, and I do it more in my next video that's coming out. And I compare the G106 to the 705 under the same exact test conditions. And I understand I'm comparing a $1,300 radio with a $300 radio, but the 705 is pure no matter what I do to it.
Right.
The G106, not so much. And I'm on the new firmware now.
It's a messy girl. Oh,
yes.
I just saw a cottontail rabbit hightail it up the mountain.
Is it Peter Cottontail?
Yeah.
So that's my 2 cents.
I hear you. Yeah, no, I think well, obviously you're not wrong, and I agree with the points you made earlier. I just felt bad. It's like, well, shoot, I didn't have the same problems you had, and I did the same things. And so that's why it's like, oh my God. Oh, I bet. Yeah, I bet. It was a good video.
And the greatest thing is that now I know that I can say anything, and they'll still send me test reviews stuff. So.
Yeah, they sent me a message like, did you have the same problems as Mike? And I'm like, I didn't, but I did ship it to Mike, and then all the problems started occurring after I shipped it. And they're like, well, how did you ship it? And I'm like, well, I took the box you sent me, because I knew it had to go to someone. I put the radio back in the box, and then I put the smaller box in the larger box, and I shipped it the same way you shipped it to me. So if you have any issues,
no, there was nothing. There was not a scratch on the box. I mean, it had not been manhandled. That it looked
right.
It was in great shape. So, anything's possible.
Yeah, I don't know, man, but well, I like it. So far, I do like the radio. But it is cheap. It doesn't have a ton of great features. It's very inexpensive. And then obviously the spectral purity is a problem. But
here's another thing, if I might add.
Yeah.
Unless you're just super strapped for cash and just have to get on HF, even if this radio were spectrally pure, and it did, whatever. I mean, it doesn't do much. It's not designed to. For another $120, you can get a G90. That is so much more radio.
Physically too. Right? It's physically a bigger radio.
I mean, it's physically a bigger radio, yeah, but it does a lot
test it against
more.
The G90, Mike?
I'm sorry?
Did you compare it with the G90? Did you run the tests that you compared the 705 and the G90 or the 5105?
As far as what? Like for spectral purity and all that?
Yeah, Roger.
I have not done that, no. I've not needed to, though. Like I'm sure I have at some point, but I don't think I've done a video on it. No, I know I haven't done a video on it, but no, I don't have any problems with those radios.
Well, no, I'm just saying you're comparing it to the $300 radio to the $1,300 on the 705.
Let me be clear on that. Let me be clear on that. The only reason I'm comparing it to that radio, and I'm not comparing the radio, I'm showing what a clean signal should look like. I'm showing what my expectations are, regardless of price. You need to make, as a manufacturer, you need to make a pure radio.
And that's why I'm asking, is the G90 just as pure as the 705 or the 5105 or the 6100, all of these radios that people have fallen in love with? I mean, I got no skin in the game. It seems like this radio has been beat up pretty hard for an entry level, which I fully support. I fully support a Chinese entry level HF radio because that's what I started with, the G90. And if I would have had this, I would have used it instead.
Yeah, I honestly can't answer that question. I don't recall. I may not have.
So, just
that's a good question.
For curiosity's sake, though, so Mike, I'm assuming you go to your front porch and you transmit on one of the radios under test, and then you use the 7610 screen as kind of a spec an for looking for birdies, right?
Well, actually, I just set it up. I did go outside one time, but I can just set it up right here with the dummy load.
Yeah. Okay. Got it. Yeah. I do have the capability of doing that slightly differently. Are you going into an antenna or dummy load?
I can do that right now.
Yeah.
It really doesn't matter. I mean, my antenna's hooked up.
Oh, you know what? Well, hell,
without the antenna.
If you can do it right now against the G90,
I just transmit the G90, and I transmit the G90 into a dummy load, and I mean, a dummy load still radiates to some degree, so the radio picks it up. Absolutely.
Sure. Yeah, that's what I use a dummy load generally, but I've been using the Tiny SA and also the SDR plays into a dummy load, and you can. I've got a device that works as a pass through, like you can attenuate down, and it's a pass through unit. So you can just get like the appropriate amount of power to the SA.
Yeah, I think I've seen you use those. Hang on, I'm setting this up right now.
I mean, if you get right down to it, what is a radio with a screen? It is a spectrum analyzer. But sorry, someone's going to say they had a question. Go for it.
My burning desire wants to know: does it do 11 meters?
What, my G90?
No, the G106. It will receive 11 meters.
Oh, that's out of the picture then.
Hey, Mike, are you still on JS8Call on 40?
I just tuned away because I'm setting up the G90.
Oh, because somebody did you get the relay message?
Negative.
Oh.
Well, if I did, it's gone now.
Somebody relayed through me to get to you.
Hang on.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah.
If you ever want to get more scientific with it, with like the Tiny SA, let me know. I've got a spare.
Mike could use a Tiny SA. Yeah.
No, I got a spare.
Is that like the nano VNA size spectrum analyzer thing?
Yep.
Yeah.
No, I appreciate it, but I'll pass on that.
Well, why are you passing on it? Mike, why are you passing?
Because I hate the nano VNA. That reminds me of that.
No, but you plug it into your computer. You use the computer software to control it.
Josh, you know how things like that go for me in computers.
True. That's true.
Because he's anti-Windows.
No,
he's not.
No, he's not.
I am, but listen, this $60 computer.
The truth came out.
No, you don't understand.
This $60 computer has done so much for me. You don't understand. Like, I hate that it's Windows, but because it charges off at 12 volts, has reinvigorated my desire to do all these digital modes. That's why I'm into all this crap.
Regardless of Mike's affinity for operating systems, Mike has some of the worst luck I've ever seen with doing things related to computers.
Remember that MFJ
the something rig, the rig pie. Yeah, rig pie.
Yeah.
That was kind of lunky to begin with.
Yeah, I had trouble with that, and I do work with computers every day.
I mean, I got it running, and I think we spent like probably an hour on one of these after chats trying to get mics going.
Yeah.
And I think you got so frustrated, you're like, "I'm done. I'm out.
Dude,
that's it. I'm done.
Dude, it was bad.
I can't do
bad.
it."
I was gonna say, Mike.
I feel slighted because we can't get the 60 quid computer in the UK.
Yeah, you
well,
need...
for about $100, I can send you one.
Buy it on Amazon.
But
Let's see if they'll ship to you.
$100 to send you it.
No, I mean $100 for shipping.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
You can get them on AliExpress. But Mike, what I was going to offer up to you is I've got a dummy load that's got a RF tap built into it. So all you'd have to do is go that into a tiny SA, run the software, and you'd be up and going.
I mean, honestly, I'm sitting in front of an ICOM 7610 that's got a beautiful screen on it.
I do want that, though, Sideboom. If you do want to get rid of that, I'll take it. I can use that.
I honestly don't know what I would do with that. I mean, I have no idea.
The same thing you do now, except you'd have a
what's it
something
take?
You could actually screen grab.
What
does it take?
How many watts can it take?
I don't know. It's the one that the coffee and ham radio guys went cuckoo cuckoo for. It goes all the way up in the gigahertz range.
Yeah, Ape knows how to do it. If you want to know how to use it, you can watch Ape's videos, and I think he attenuates the crap out of it.
No, I thought you said it was a dummy load, though. That's what I'm asking.
It is.
Yeah, so how many watts can the dummy load take?
Oh, I don't know. I would look it up, but mine doesn't have the markings on it.
So what I have is it's an RF pass-through for testing, where you've got the forward into an output. The output goes into any dummy load, and then you have another output, and that output is the RF clean output that you can run to a
Like you said, we're on Discord. Let me take a picture of this guy.
Yeah, but don't you have to attenuate that output signal before you run it into a spectrum analyzer?
I mean, it depends on what the power. That's what I don't know, because I don't know how strong it is going out of that RF tap.
I've got a step down for it, so if I've only played with it with HTs thus far, but I have a step down that'll do 200 watts, so I just have to put that in line of the BNC, and then Bob's your uncle. You're off to the races safely. But with a tiny with a tiny SA, I mean, if I tear that up, I wouldn't be as sad as if I would burn up a 7610.
No, he's not gonna burn up a 7610 because that's RF going out. Whereas when you connect something directly into one of the inputs on a tiny SA, you're pushing the power directly into it through the coax.
Yeah. So out of curiosity, put a power meter on that BNC, and then run 100 watts on 20 meters into it on CW and see what you get out. That's what I would do, just to get a frame of reference, because then you would need to step on it some.
I don't even have the ability to do that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, I mean that's what I would look at.
You said 2 meters, right? Or 20.
All right, you guys ready for the
results? We're all on HF. We're talking HF for these radios. So that's my next step. Is I have all this gear. I just have to put it all together so I can actually do this kind of stuff.
The spectrum analyzer is only half the story. You're only talking about the output power, or about how good the receiver is. No one's yet come a good way of testing receivers.
There it is.
See, that's not even, but that's not, okay. So you're only at 2.5K wide, so that's not even harmonics that you're dealing with. You're not even dealing with first, second, and third order harmonics.
It's just crap.
That's like artifacts.
But if I do that with the 705, you don't see those in the exact same. So yeah, total garbage.
That honestly needs to be on a spectrum analyzer so you can tell what the strength of those whatever those are, right?
Artifacts, yeah.
The artifacts there are concerning, but the reality is that center carrier you have looks like it's 3 or 4 lines above that. That could be the appropriate dB suppression, which I think is like 40 dB under the fundamental frequency as called out by the FCC. So that could be okay.
Does it do that if you just do a carrier from the Morse key, or does it?
That's what that is.
Because I'm wondering whether it's the switching thing. You know,
I only have the Nano VNA. I don't have the tiny SA. Otherwise, I could test this right now. Damn. Well, shoot. Okay, now I actually have to look at that.
I mean, I can do it with the 705 and send you a picture of that too. I mean, I do this in my video that's coming out. So
you've got the problem. So okay, one great video. Post it, absolutely. I know you would anyway. But the concern, what you'll get in the comments is like people will ask you, well, so what? What is actually the suppression there? Because I'm looking at, I don't know what the horizontal lines, like what is that? Is that an S unit? Is that in dB? Like, you know, how do I turn that in? Right. So how do I turn that into dBs of suppression? And I don't know how to do that from looking at this. That's where the SA comes in handy.
All right, well, maybe I need one of those. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll find out what the calibration is between each one of those horizontal lines, because they might actually be a calibrated scale. They're just not telling you what it is.
Maybe this is why I'm driven to these radios.
Ooh. Hey,
well, if you look at the
Mike, really quick, put the 7610 into AM and do the same thing again, if you can.
Yeah.
Tank, good point. Tank KI5 EDP.
That's
I mean,
why
it
I'm
looks exactly the same hand.
I don't know.
That's why I'm driven to these. That's why I'm driven to these radios, man. They're splatter boxes, you know. My 11-meter side.
Oh yeah, dude, this is right up your alley, bud.
You know what? Turn all the special coloured knobs all to the left, right?
Here, let's just do that.
I love it.
I only ever went in my radio once, and that was to fix a bulb.
There's on AM.
Oh, okay. So it looks the same. Wow. Yeah. No. It's when you're key up. Look at that key up
modulation there down the bottom.
Yeah, at the bottom. You see that key up?
That's when you key up.
It looks like the evil eye.
It does that when you unkey too.
It's giving you the evil eye every time you key up and key it.
Now, if you look at the line that says spectrum scope, if you look to the far right, it says grid 0.5K/10 dB. So maybe that's the scale for the grid. I don't know.
That's not very much then.
Come on, Josh, you get the manual out. You got one of these 610 dupers.
Yeah, I'm not going to do it right now. Not with it in front. I just got the right tool. It's like we're using a sextant to try and measure something in meters.
All right, Don, hook it up to one of those SDR things you got at your house and see if you can find any difference. I know you got a G90 running around.
Yeah, but the thing is, I think what Josh is saying is true. I mean, you really need a spectrum analyzer to see how high those peaks are that are secondary, because that's what Ape always does. He's always talking about the first one is some big, huge number, and then if the other ones are very, very low, then it's not a problem because it's within the FCC spec, and that's what you got to know.
But couldn't I do the same thing with like an SDR dongle?
No, not
into
really.
the dummy load. No.
Okay.
Well, it's a difference between it being. By the way, so yes, kinda. SDRs are functionally spectrum analyzers if you think about it. They are. The difference though is if you're running spectrum analyzer software, which exists, so SDR Play, they have a spectrum analyzer software you can run on it. Mm-hmm. They give you the measurements. What we're lacking here is the measurements and the bent towards operating the unit for measuring. What you need here is when you're doing a test on a handheld, for instance, as I've done on my show. When I transmit, that frequency that I think I'm transmitting on is called the fundamental frequency. And then every harmonic that comes after it, the first, second, third order harmonics, a good, SA software will kind of like freeze the world when you key up. And it'll hold those points for you so you can go back and analyze what that power is, right, against the noise level. So everything's compared against the noise floor. If your noise floor is 0, and you transmit up, and then boom, here's your dB reading. And the dB reading on the largest spur, or all the spurs, if they're all egregious, has to be so many dB lower than the fundamental frequency. That's
Right.
what the FCC calls for in their guidelines. Now, here's the interesting thing, though. For HTs and higher frequency radios, this is ridiculously important and really, really pursued. But when you go lower than 30 meters, it starts to get 30 meters, sorry, not 30 meters, 30 megahertz. And you start going down that space, because the FCC requirements are all radio services, not just ham radio. They get much looser in their restrictions, and actually that difference between the fundamental frequency and the harmonics reduces considerably. So that's what I don't know off the top of my head, and I'm obviously not in my shack, so I can't do any of this like work right now.
Yeah, and if these are FCC certified, they would have gone through. Now, I know these things aren't. The 106 isn't.
Well, it has to be. How would they sell it? How's Radio Oddity selling it in the United States?
Baofeng's been doing that for a long time, right?
Well, no.
They weren't FCC certified.
Well, they had a model. So, yes, Don, you're right, but then the clarification is there was a Baofeng that was certified by the FCC. And then every subsequent Baofeng clone just pointed at that FCC number and said, we're selling the exact same thing. Let's go, right? But the reality is that no, they weren't. They were modified slightly, changed. And they were running fast and loose with it. But this is a fundamentally different radio than I think most of the Xiegu offerings, aside from the one it replaces, the G1M or whatever. But just keep that in mind.
It replaces the G105.
G105.
Yeah, the G1M is still for sale.
Okay.
And I'm curious because the G1M actually is less expensive than the G106, but I guess that's because it's a 4-band radio. That's the only thing I could see. But it's been around a long time. And the 105 really didn't sell well from what I remember.
No, it did not.
But I've seen at least our brothers in the UK have been using the G1M. I don't know how much, but I've seen quite a few videos on them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
a lot of soda
I
guys
still got one. I like it.
Yeah, they're simple radios. They're dead simple. I will give credit to the G106 in one area. I think they realized the G90 is kind of like their do-it-all radio. And they realized that half of the people that are buying this thing just wants to do digital with it. And we should make it easy for them to do digital. And they did. It's incredibly easy to do digital modes on the G106. It's very easy. It's a very easy radio to get up and running. If you have their interface, the DE19 interface, I haven't tested. I'm assuming the CE19 interface is going to work the same. It's the same connectors. It's fantastically easy. I had it up on the Maestro, the Jankopotamus, like in, I don't know, 10-15 minutes and making contacts. No problem. So. All right. I'm going to take a quick break here to run to the restroom. And now looks like a good time to do it. So I'm going to run, play the memes. You guys keep it going.
Yeah, Mike, we need that video on how you make the 5105 work.
Well, I just figured it out today. It's pretty much the same way. Well, what the hell is it? It's kind of the same way I made the G90 work with the DigiRig. I mean, they're all just sound cards. Honestly, that's all. They all kind of do the same thing. But yeah, I have the radio technically for another. I have to send it out by the 9th. To the next reviewer, but I'm gonna do because some people have been asking me about that. I already posted it on Twitter, but yeah, the X5105 works with it, and I assume the G90 will. It's all the same connection. So
Mike, burning question: M&P or ABR?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay.
Is that coax? You speaking coax?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's coax.
I've done some more testing, and that's all I'm going to say.
Okay.
I will also say that I shouldn't. Nope, never mind.
No, that's fair.
If I text you, will you give me the answer?
No.
Damn it.
What is that signal?
The answer is in the video I did on comparing coaxial cables.
Mm-hmm.
If that's what the signal looks like on CW, what does it look like on FTA?
You will see all of that in the video that I post on Friday. So be sure to like and share and subscribe to KMRD Radio stuff.
I think the is that the one the patrons have already got to see?
I posted 3 videos. I don't remember which ones they were. Yeah, the firmware update. Did you guys watch?
Yeah, I saw that one.
Yeah. So that one's what I'll be posting on Friday, and then I just gave the patrons the DigiRig Zygo G90 thing today.
Yeah, I just got it. Yeah.
With my super awesome intro.
All right, I'll have to watch that one too. But I watch them all anyway.
Well, thank you.
Oh no, I thank you for putting them out there. I mean,
well, I got to do something now, so I can't sit on the couch all day. I start to go stir crazy.
Yeah, at my age, I'm running around with all these guys that are retired, and I'm sorry, I'm getting to where, man, that's all I'm looking forward to now.
Well, I'm not retired, so.
Oh, I know, but yeah, after 35, 40 years of doing this crap, I'm tired of it.
All I'm hearing is Don's looking forward to a better noise floor wherever he goes.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, that was awesome when my power went out today. It was only out for they came out in record time and turned it back on. I was pissed. A transformer definitely exploded. I heard it. Now I'm literally making a thumbnail for one of the videos, and the power just goes out. I'm like, God damn it. I was like, well, ham radio.
Yeah.
Had zero noise on 20 meters. Is amazing.
Yeah. There weren't none tannerite involved with there, Mike. It accidentally fell over the transformer.
Nope. My antennas are good. Could have been someone else's.
I mean the transformer. That you didn't accidentally. The tannerite went off next to the transformer. It went off.
Yeah, they've actually gone into my neighborhood and put in new high power lines.
Mr. Free Letter Agency. Mike would never do anything like that.
I don't even know what these words that you're speaking are.
Oh, poor soul.
Tannerite.
And that stuff you put on
sarcasm.
bread.
Yes.
And that stuff you put on bread, it tastes good.
Yes.
Oh God, no.
I thought that was Vegemite.
Oh, it's
tannerite.
Close.
No, it's tannerite. Yeah, no, we put tannerite on bread in America. That's what we use.
It has a very explosive flavor.
It's booming with flavor.
On the Muppet Show.
Jesus.
All right. Did I miss any YouTubers? Who else we got in here? I saw Mike.
Oh, you got Don. I mean, don't forget Don's now a YouTuber.
No.
Don, you want to?
There you are, Don. You did 2 videos in a row. That made you a YouTuber.
You dropping something hot this week, Don?
I dropped something the other day. Just more videos on running the Hermes, working POTA and a couple other things so I could show off the interface, but that's it.
Well, drop your channel so people can check it out.
Sure.
I didn't bring my battery extension. I have a battery blank out thing for my camera so I can run my camera 24/7. I don't have it. I left it at home. That was one of the things I forgot. But that's okay. So I don't have my cool ambiance. But there's really nothing to look at because everything is dark. This is a world where you look up and you can see the stars at my dad's house. It's crazy. It's insane. I don't know what that normally is. So
how's your noise floor?
It's actually, what's really weird is that sometimes when you go out in the middle of nowhere, your noise can be worse because you get just some random neighbors running who knows what. But I will say, the one issue that the G105 has is it has like a non-functioning S meter. That thing, I don't know what the deal is with that thing.
All
like,
signals are 20 over.
Everything is just through the roof. I get no adequate justification of what the noise is, other than looking at the spectrum display. The spectrum display actually gives me I have a really low noise floor here, so I think it's all under 2 right now on 7 megahertz, which is pretty damn good.
There is an issue with the when you switch it on, it goes into a high noise state. If you turn the preamp on and then turn it off, it should be okay.
Oh, okay.
There is a known issue at the moment. The Canadian guy was talking about it the other day.
Nah, it dropped it down. No, right back up. Well, so I'm seeing like 20 over S9 signals right now, but then when it drops down, it's showing me an S9, which I know is not accurate because I was not going to get fooled again on a live stream bringing this radio out. So I did bring the 705 out, and I tested. I took out my rig stick, my Stick Pro, Rig Expert Stick Pro. Took that out, did a band sweep against all the ham radio bands using this chameleon antenna. It's fantastic. The new Left's antenna is really good. Got that all sorted out, then connected my 705, had a fantastic noise floor in 20 meters, and said, okay, we're probably good. Hooked up the G106. Yeah. Is that right? Yeah, G106. It's too many damn names. And then looked at the noise floor, and it's all S9, S9 plus 10. It's crazy. Yeah.
Weird.
There's a lot of people on 40 right now, though.
Well, there's a European Region 1 contest, SSB HF contest.
No, I'm talking about JS8Call. There's a lot of people on JS8Call.
There's also the RSGB HF Field Day. So if you're hearing a lot of Brits out there on SSB, that's what it is. We should be out there, me and Rob, but our club decided it couldn't do it. So,
unfortunately, I seldom hear Brits. I've not gotten one actual voice contact with someone in Britain, which I would love to do, but I've had difficulty. It's easier for me to get Australia than it is.
We have heard you once or twice, but you were too quiet to work. So
yeah,
we have heard you over here.
Yeah.
I've heard you from the home station, which is rare as rocking was poo.
Every once in a while, there'll be a few real strong European stations, even UK stations. That'll just come in and they say 6 and 7 calls only, 6 and 7 calls only.
Yeah.
And all they're trying to do is get over the other side of the United States.
That's how I get Spain and Italy, and I've gotten France on voice, so I know it's possible. I've just had bad luck with Great Britain.
Be me with a 7 calling the East Coast.
I got a question.
Yeah, a question. Love it. Go for it.
So for Josh, since you're like on the West Coast, I guess this will be like our point of reference here. Mm-hmm. But when you get to that caliber of you're gonna try to shoot for like Britain or whatnot, or you're shooting for like those really long distances, what's kind of the minimalist equipment, wattage, that kind of stuff that you're, and like antenna and stuff that you're basically looking at to make that kind of an attempt?
That's a really good question. So I would argue that you can make a lot happen with a zero noise floor. A lot of the times, the problems you run into, we try and muscle and dollar our way out of the problem of, I just have a bad noise floor. You can hear so many things when you go to somewhere where it is really RF quiet. And you can work those things because you can actually hear them. With that said, the receiver side to me is the most important. I want to be able to hear everything I want to be able to hear more than I can transmit to, right? That's always my goal. Because if you're the other way around, then you're just pissing people off because they're trying to contact you because they can hear you, but you can't hear them, and so you never make a contact, and everybody's pissed off. Okay, so let's say you have a very good noise floor, very low noise floor, really good receive capability. Then what are you looking at? You can do a lot with a 100-watt radio and some gain. So multi-element Yagi antenna. It could even be just a 2-element, like a hex beam or something like that. The problem is that generally limits you to 20 meters and higher, right? So daytime type stuff. If you're going low band, then there's really no replacement for just really high up wire antennas. Like that's really the way to do it. And what you find at that point is you've got to start putting power behind it. So, 400 watts, 800 watts, that kind of stuff is what you start looking at. And that will do it. That will get you to where you're going, particularly as we start coming into the high side of the sun cycle. Remember, it's 2002. The solar cycle peaks in 2025. So we've got all the time going up to 25 is just going to be better and better and better. More chaotic, but better and better and better. And then on the way down, it's still really, really good until you get, 3 years, 4 years outside of 2025. And then you're like, well, shoot, okay, now we're all going super long antennas and we're going low band again. Top band, as Callum would call it, So those are... I'm always about the getting the receiver straight is going to get you better off than anything, to me. Put an app behind it, but yeah, get your receiver as best you can. Anybody have any other thoughts? I'd love to hear them. Go for it.
Well, you've hit the nail on the head there.
Well, I guess I did. Well, damn. Well, thank you. Thank you.
Dave had kind of an adjacent question.
Sure.
So going back to the talk earlier about SWR. So I have my Go kit ready, and I take a reading on my Buddy Stick Pro with a rig stick, and I get an SWR earlier today. It was like 1.4, pretty much anywhere on the SSB portion of 20 meters. I'm using an 891. I was transmitting, and the SWR meter on the radio showing at least 2 to 3 SWR. Which one should I trust?
At the end of the day, trust the radio because it's the one that's going to fold back on you. So that's interesting, though.
Okay.
Your rig expert stick Pro is showing a lower SWR, and your radio is showing a higher SWR.
Just a standard rig stick 230. But yeah, it was showing it was going to be pretty good. It was going to be under 1.4, 1.5, up in the top end of 20 meter sideband. But when I was transmitting, I was getting 2 to 1, 3 to 1, somewhere in there, up at the peaks.
Interesting. Did you try scrolling around a bit and see if it dropped as you moved up or down? Because what's possible is that they're just offset from each other a tad.
I was a little bit lower in the band, and it did show a little bit higher, but not near that high. And yeah, that's where it was about 2 to 3 to 1. But it's not what the reading I was seeing should have been.
And by rig stick, you mean rig expert stick, right? The original stick.
Yep, and I had it hooked up through AntScope on my phone, and I got a reading through AntScope of about the range I was wanting to work in.
Sounds like you're just off a bit. Maybe one or both units need a calibration.
Okay. Well, I just did the firmware update to the latest on the rig stick, so I'll see if there's anything for the 891.
Yeah, calibration is not necessarily a firmware upgrade, right? Calibration is literally aligning the RF portion of the receiving capability of the unit.
Okay.
All
right. Well,
that's not. By the way, doing a calibration on those units is not like something most people do. it generally requires a really frequency stable signal generator to do it.
Okay. The other thing is the 891 is used and it was Mars modded. Is that a consideration?
Could be, possibly.
Okay. Okay. All right.
At the
Well,
same
thank
time, 2.0 is not going to hurt your 891 at all. You can throw 100 watts at that and it won't be upset.
Jason's not going to do what?
What?
You said 2.0 is not going to do anything to your radio. I was wondering what Jason was going to do.
2.0 SWR.
Okay.
All right. But
Gosh.
I might hop down to 80. I'm so seldom on to 80. I'm gonna see what this looks like on 80. What's 80 look like?
Hey, Josh.
Yeah.
Hey, so that soda activation was successful yesterday. I don't know if you knew that or not.
Oh, with your homemade antennas there, or what was the story?
No, the soda activation I did, the one you hopped on.
Oh yeah, right on. How many contacts you end up getting?
Oh shoot, I think I got like 30 or so.
Good for you.
Yeah, like it's a lot of fun. I'm kind of like upset I didn't do it before because, getting up there and talking on FM simplex to people like 80 miles away is like mind blowing.
Right. Very good. Well, congratulations on a successful activation.
Yeah, it was that was pretty cool. But yeah, I'm putting the video up on Tuesday, so.
As a complete side note, just because I remember now after talking to you, and this is unrelated, depending on what my morning looks like tomorrow, I may get on HF, likely 40, maybe 20, and just do what I'm going to call a Morse code free-for-all. In the sense that I don't think I'm good enough to be able to really copy a ton of people, but I'm going to try and do a net, and net is the loosest term, so you could possibly make this. We're going to coordinate it with the HF net chat on Discord. If you scroll up a little bit higher, you'll see HF
that sounds
net.
awesome.
I think we're just going to have a CW free-for-all where we get out there and try and have some fun. So if anyone's up, I guess everybody likely will be up but me. Morning time, West Coast time-ish. So just keep an eye out on HFNet. I may throw an @HFNet tag out there just to see who's available, and then we'll try to just make it us. Of course, we'll do what we can with Morse code. But I've been wanting to do this for a while, and now that we're here, and I don't know exactly when everybody's going to wake up to go fishing, I'm assuming that everybody's going to wake up later than me. So I'll probably get out here and get set up and have a little fun with some CW. So, yeah, just keep that in mind for tomorrow. But, yeah, right on. What else is going on? Anybody got anything fun they're going to do tomorrow? Or what are we doing this weekend? Anybody got? Are there some big ham radio events? I know that we heard about the what is it? The RSB is doing their field day, and what else is up? But 80 meters on JS8 is dead, so don't go there. I'm going back to 7 megahertz.
I saw some people on 80, but sending out heartbeats, but that was really it.
So what else is going on?
The Tennessee QSO party and the Colorado QSO party, from what I remember. I heard both today on 20.
Oh, Colorado QSO party's going on right now? Okay.
It was, yeah. I don't know when it ends, but yeah. And you can get the Evolve 3 off of Amazon. It's just going to be more expensive.
Yeah, you can get it off of Amazon. If you happen to be so inclined, you can go to my video talking about the laptop, and I have a link to it. You can get that shipped outside of the United States, but there are some restrictions I appreciate, and some for some folks. Oh, Don dropped it. So yeah, go for it. All right, what do I want to do? I think we're gonna. I kind of wanted to not do FT8, but I think we might do FT8. Not a lot of people on JS8Call right now, so.
I got a question, if you can hear me.
I hear you. Go for it.
Rig Blaster or Signal Link? I'm looking to set up a Echo Link node. Which one would you suggest?
Rig Blaster or Signal Link for an Echo Link node? I didn't know you use those for a Echo Link node.
Comment?
Echo Link generally... Yeah, go ahead, comment.
Yeah, it's KA6RTL. I actually played around with that a couple years ago, and you can actually use a Signal Link to do that. It's a little bit persnickety setting it up, but once you do get it set up, it works like a charm, and it even will deal with the DTMF.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. Probably Signal Link then. Hot tips.
I'm just, we've got one on our repeater, and just going into your radio and then radio RF to the repeater, and I'm looking to do that.
Yeah, the only thing you have to be aware of is to turn off all Windows system sounds, because those will come through on both ends.
Yeah, that makes sense. Good call.
But I also actually had a question that I've been thinking about for the last few days anyway.
Go ahead.
So I have the potential of coming into some funds in the near future.
Okay.
And I'm looking at getting an HF set up, FTDX 10 more than likely. But as far as the antenna goes, I'm looking at mag loops. What are your thoughts between the ICOM AL705 and the Chameleon F Loop 3?
So, why FTDX10 and mag loop?
Apartment operating and also high noise floor.
So just as a consideration, Chameleon, I've reviewed the F Loop. If you want to go look at it, the video's out there already, and that's the F Loop 2. They are making a auto-tune capable device that attaches to the F Loop that will automatically tune it for you, which could be really good. So you might want to consider that.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, the other problem I have is that I can't attach anything to the exterior of my apartment complex building. So
right.
I have to get a little creative with lighting stands.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I understand. I'm decoding nothing right now on FT8. That's really weird. I'm going to do a time sync real fast.
I would literally do anything in the world to try to not use a mag loop antenna.
Thank you, Mike. You said it maybe more succinctly. They're not great. I feel like you're going to get frustrated, particularly putting a $1,400 radio behind it, and you definitely can't run that power behind it. You're going to have to look at one of those crazy Italian sports car loop antennas to be able to put 100 watts into it.
The only reason I would do a loop antenna is if I had a driving need to learn how they work, like M0 MSN does. But unless you're going to just have fun building them, I just can't see the point.
Yeah, the other consideration is I have a very small patio, which is covered by the balcony of the apartment above me. So I have to kind of use a lighting stand to stick it out into the middle of the air.
Yeah. Gosh, you're just gonna spend like a decent chunk of money on the loop, and you're not gonna be that happy. I think overall, like they're persnickety to tune. They are decent receivers, oddly enough, and they do. There we go. Now we're actually copying people. They do a good job in receiving. Their transmit capability is just kind of lacking. You're basically like QRPing yourself in hard mode. It's like hard mode QRP.
What about one of those ICOM or whatever antennas?
Isotron? No, not an Isotron. No Isotrons. No.
Just trying to throw a suggestion out there.
I mean,
what floor are you on?
Ground floor.
Oh,
dude, get a Wolf River Coils, man. Put it outside.
But he said he's covered by the balcony above him.
Outside?
Yeah, I am. The balcony above me covers essentially 100% of my patio.
But can't you put it out? So like it's a roof for your patio, you mean?
Effectively.
So what happens if you walk out of your patio?
Unfortunately, the apartment complex actually put up a half-size fence or a half-height fence, so that's not really possible anymore. So that's why I have to get creative with the lighting stand and some.
So you have like no ground between like whatever the concrete slab or whatever is your patio to this fence.
Correct.
Antennas work inside. I mean, just not as good, but they'll still work.
Yeah, but nothing's gonna fit. I mean, you technically could put up like a Wolf River Coil Silver Bullet Mini with the little 5-foot whip, and it would. But
whip.
I mean, that's honestly, if you watch, who is it? Paul, Oscar Mike 3 or Oscar Mike 0 Echo Tango. He uses a loop QRP inside his apartment, and he makes contacts, but just, I mean, really lower your expectations. They do work inside. You'll hear stuff. But transmitting, I don't want you to be turned off of radio because of that.
Yeah, if you're gonna do it occasionally and spend most of your time outside in a park somewhere. Go portable.
Yeah, I guess that's probably a good way.
That's literally.
That's probably a good way to look at it. Is that like your loop antenna is. They're really compromised. They're incredibly compromised. So you're basically, if you can't do anything like portable, like go to a POTA and all that stuff, your loop antenna will be there. You can do that, but now you're buying like 2 antenna systems, right? And I get it. Like I've talked about this a ton of times. Like I'd rather be home and operate radio most of the time. I love going portable. But everybody wants the convenience of being able to just be at home. It just doesn't work that way for most people. With noise and having an apartment and all that stuff. So I understand.
Yeah, I live in a 2,600 square foot house, and believe me, an S7 noise floor is not fun, even for somebody that can put an antenna outside. So I go portable when I can, and I don't always go to POTA parks. Sometimes I just run around to a park close by that has a low noise floor and sit in the car and operate. It's anything to get away from the noise floor.
Did you say this was a wooden fence?
Yes.
How long is it?
8-9 feet.
Oh.
You'd have to be like
they basically just enclosed my patio essentially.
Yeah, you'd have to go to the level of like malicious compliance for a lot of what you're talking about doing. I think you'd have to like
a hamstick dipole sitting in the living room would work.
A hamstick dipole sitting in the living room on the first floor is probably not going to do a lot other than capture noise. You could, so there's a couple of things you could do. So I'm guessing that the building is a lot of apartments that have these wooden fences on the first floor. Would that be safe to say?
Yes, and there's not much space between that fence and the walkway, so I can't really do radials.
Well, yeah, so then you could hypothetically build a dipole that connects to the wooden fence, and then just take the wires and string them on the outside of all your neighbors' fences, and just hope nobody notices. That's like, now you're getting into like total, like ridiculous, like what can I do, type of stuff, right?
Yeah, it's going to be actually getting away with that is going to be tough because there's what they call a doghouse, which contains equipment for the power meters and satellite TV repeaters and splitters that they would need access to, so I wouldn't be able to really pull that off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I get it.
Yeah, I'm imagining too that, and I don't know that this is the case, but I've seen apartments where they have these big, all of these big, long, little enclosed patios, and every one of them has a gate to the outside. So if you're running along that fence, you're going to encounter a gate every so many feet that somebody may or may not go out of.
Oh, good point, Don. Yeah, good point. You know what you could do? Well, FTDX10 is a one antenna radio. It doesn't have a receive antenna slot, does it?
Right. It does not.
Could you get coax to your car?
Now Mike's in proper.
Well, I had to do this when I moved to Texas. Remember when I first moved into this place that I'm living?
Right. You were using the screwdriver.
I didn't have any antennas up. I ran 100 feet of coax out to my car with the Tar Heel.
Nice. I love it, dude. That's the find a way of ham radio right there. That's the ham radio spirit.
I'm not going to knock it on the air.
I love it.
It works
dude.
well.
Yeah.
I love it.
Unfortunately, my apartment from the parking spot I usually use is about 200 to 300 feet, and that would get noticed real quick.
Yeah.
Hey, Mike, that's the ultimate adapt and overcome, by the way.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be funny though if like
shooting them down?
So like outside your fenced-in patio area, like what's behind it? Like what's outside your patio?
Bushes, pretty much. That's about it.
A big tree.
Is there a tree? Is there a close tree?
It's about 10 to 15 feet away.
How high up is it?
It's a palm tree.
Again,
full size.
My question is, how high up is it?
30, maybe 40 feet. I'm not sure.
Do it, dude. Get end fed halfway, throw a wire over the top of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, make it happen. Get a buddy with a drone, and get one of those like little RF release like knuckles that goes on the bottom of the drone. Hoist the wire up over the top of it and just drop it, and then run your end.
Okay, but let's be practical. Get an arborist line so you can throw it up, because the 800 times that you want to get on the air that your buddy without it with a drone is not there.
No, I'm saying he leaves it up.
You're gonna
leave it up.
But he can't put anything up there permanently.
It's not permanent. He could pull it down if he wanted to.
Just wait until the apartment manager comes by and asks him to take it down.
Yeah, I think you're going to be kind of setting up and taking down like as you want to operate. I don't know. I mean, leave it up. You get some end fed with like 26 gauge poly stealth wire.
Just super like
black. I won't see it.
Black coated wire that is super stealth wire. The smallest possible diameter.
You can run 100 watts through that, no problem.
No problem.
And Rob 741 channel just did a video where he helped a guy out that was living in an apartment where basically now he had a woods like a couple 100 feet from his house, but that's what they did.
He had to go in a woods.
Just threw it. Yeah,
he did a video on loading up a tree.
Yeah, true. But in this case,
load up the palm tree.
Yeah, in this case, they were helping out this guy in an apartment, and they just threw wire up in a tree and then ran the coax back to his house.
But if you think about it, and I'll go
or
full
apartment,
screen
I
on
mean.
this. So if you think about it, he's got 10 feet. So if this is his patio, where his patio is, and this is the palm tree, so 10 feet, and then the palm tree is 30 to 40 feet. The angle that wire is going to come out of the patio and then come up over the top of the palm tree, 30, 40 feet, that gets you 40 meters. You're good on 40 meters on an end fed. You know what you could do? You know what, this would be the most hilarious thing you could do is you go to like a dollar store or go on Amazon and find a plastic coconut, right? And you put some rocks or pennies or something in it to act like a little ballast, and you take that coconut and that's your end tie. You tie the insulating cordage to that connects to the wire antenna, and then you hoist that goes up over the top of the palm tree. So there's still a coconut. So you're appropriately working with the space and sticking with the theme that you've got there.
Yeah, the 40 meters is 66 feet, right? 20 is 34.
Thinking outside the box, if you only wanted to work at night, why not grab like an MPass 2.0, run that vertical up? You got 6 to 160, I believe.
Still need a counterpoise.
Oh, it has the one single counterpoise. I'm talking, you put it up at night when you want to use it, you take it down. It's kind of pain in the butt, but it gets you on the air.
Well, and by the way, the counterpoise could run back into the apartment.
Oh,
it does not have. Yeah.
Here's another thing. Hey, Dookie Creek on Twitch said, "Is he at the end of a building? Could he potentially use the gutters?"
No. I'm actually at the midpoint of the building.
He's in the middle.
Hey, Pokey.
Okay.
Are ham sticks out of the question?
Yeah, ham sticks are an option.
If you were
if I can creatively mount it to a lighting stand, I can probably get that to work.
MFJ makes a quick clamp that you could just go put it on there, throw a little couple counterpoises out, like you're talking maybe 2 minutes full will set up.
Just like run the counterpoise in like chaos fashion inside your patio.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Again, if you're operating and you're running the coax through your door anyway, just run the counterpoise through the door into the apartment. I don't think the counterpoise has to have exposure to the air like the antenna does, right?
It doesn't, but it can't hurt. Like having a lot of counterpoises is always the best option. But regardless, if we're talking ham sticks, then it's like who cares? So if you want to make it as stealth as possible, I love the clamp idea. Chameleon also has a clamp, but it's for like a park bench or something like that. But get that MFJ clamp, but you do need to have like a pretty serious amount of radials. But that's cool. Just run the wires all crazy loopy style in your patio area, and then just do whatever you want at that point. It'll be fine.
Well, if you get that Chameleon, there's only one counterpoise. That's not that big of a deal.
No, I was talking about their clamp.
For
but
what,
you
ham
can
sticks?
For ham sticks. But you can always add more radials to the MPass. In fact,
that MPass works fine the way it is out of the box.
It works okay. It still could be better.
My
off
experience
with
is on the beach with it, so
that helps. Yeah, that helps you.
That helps. Yeah, I'm
Honestly,
liking the
OK is
end-fed.
better
I'm
than no
liking the
antenna.
end-fed thing.
Yeah, I dropped that MFJ thing in there, and the clamp is different than the one that Chameleon uses, but
probably cheaper too.
Yeah, it's shaped differently though, so I think it's more for like a balcony a railing. That's where I've seen it deployed more often, is on a railing, because it's set really to clamp against in a certain way around the railing.
What is on the other side of the fence?
He said bushes.
A tree.
Yeah, bushes.
Do
there's
people
bushes
go on the
touching
other
the
side?
fence?
Do people go out there on the other side?
Yes, there's a walkway.
But along the walkway, are the bushes solid from all the way across the back of that apartment? And then, so like you have the bushes, and then there's the walkway on the other side of the bushes, all the way down that fence.
Yeah.
Oh God, you could put a huge counterpoise like that. Just drop it down under the bushes, and let the counterpoise run all the way the length of the bushes.
Yeah, that would work great.
You could do that. No one would know.
Yeah, and that would be hidden. Yeah.
Yep. And use poly stealth. Nobody'd even see it.
They'd think it was for a speaker. They'd probably leave it alone. They wouldn't even mess around with it. Yeah. I do still want to say, like, end fed in the palm tree.
Oh yeah. But even an end fed can use a counterpoise.
Hypothetically.
Yeah, but if he can get the counterpoise behind the bushes there, he can go back to the Wolf River coil on a mount that clamps onto that fence and just kind of put it at an angle so it misses the awning above him.
Mm-hmm.
Well.
Yeah, and another thing you could do just for fun is to run something along the fence under the bushes and just use it for receive, because that would make a really good receive antenna. It could be a foot or so off the ground. That kind of a receiving antenna is pretty quiet.
Y'all cross your fingers for me. I'm fixing to mash the power button on the brand new radio.
Good luck. What kind of radio?
I drove to Atlanta today and got a 991A.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, the modes I was planning on operating on when I got the new setup is mostly 20 meter, probably digital, more than likely.
Well, digital's probably going to be the bands that the modes you're going to be running because of the compromised nature of the antenna. That's probably true.
Yeah, I knew that trying to do 20 meter or even 40 meter single sideband was going to be tough.
Yeah, what Josh is saying is probably, I totally agree with. Try to get some poly stealth, get it up over that palm tree, and drop it right back down into your backyard, and hook up a 49-to-1, or depending on the length of it, a 9-to-1 with a tuner, and give it a go.
Let me make a comment here.
Sure.
Go ahead.
I would not put anything permanent at all. Like if you're going to run counterpoise into the bushes and stuff, do it while you're operating. Take them out, because you got maintenance and lawn guys and Karens that are looking everywhere. Like something will get damaged or taken down or stolen or lost if you leave anything out there permanently. That's just my 2 cents.
Yeah, that was kind of my point. It's going to be a little inconvenient, but how bad do you want to play radio?
It's not that hard to throw a rope over a tree and hoist an end fed up. Or get a telescopic mast and lean it into the tree like I do when I'm portable and take it down when you're done. It takes, literally, if it took you 5 minutes, that would be a long time.
Well, like somebody said, if you're going to do it at night, why couldn't you just tie something off to like a big old helium balloon and let it float up for a couple of hours and then pull it back down?
Helium's expensive.
Yeah, helium's very expensive.
But farts are free.
Hydrogen?
Jesus.
Yeah, hydrogen, though. There you go. That's an option.
There you go.
Now we're talking. Let's see.
The only thing I'm trying to avoid is crossing that walkway if I don't absolutely have to.
Oh yeah. Well, is the tree across the? I'm still team palm tree right now.
The tree is on the other side of the walkway, so it's essentially right next to the building across the walkway.
Yeah, but
if you had the
30 feet up,
if you had the feed point of your antenna on your fence, I would assume that's how high is your fence?
3.5 feet, something like that.
3.5 feet.
Well, all right. So get the feed point. Can you attach the feed point to your roof of the? Is there anything hanging down?
Cannot attach anything to the exterior of the building.
Yeah, but this is just temporary. So if you were to just get some twisty ties and attach an antenna,
deer snakes
to that, and then run the wire up. The point is get the feed point high enough to where when it angles over the walkway, everyone's just going to walk right underneath it. When I go hiking, and they cut down the trees now, so I can't do this anymore, but I would literally have a wire going over the trail, and bikers and hikers and everybody would walk right underneath it. Nobody even had a clue it was there.
Mm-hmm.
People do not like walking under stuff.
Oh,
well, that's true if they see it.
If they see it. I was using yellow wire too. If you got that black poly stealth, yeah, nobody's gonna think twice about that. I mean, if you have like Karens, they will, but it's temporary.
Just takes
So
one
tell them
long
to frig
person
off.
to see it.
Yeah, but so what? Do it and then apologize, or just take it down before anyone sees it. Like, I would say, just do it. Do not ask permission.
Never ask permission.
Get that feed point up and slope that antenna to the tree. I think that's your best bet.
Honestly, I'm thinking that the antenna that, I can just clamp to the fence and then just run the counterpoise in the bushes would probably be the ideal solution.
Yep.
I mean,
any antenna you use is going to be better than the antenna you have right now.
Yeah, and anything's better than a loop.
Yeah.
The
Although,
loop
however, I also say that OK is better than no antenna.
Go on to Amazon, or if you got a truck stop nearby on the interstate or something, they make CB mounts for out of a vice grip, and you can clamp that right onto your fence, and then your Wolf River coil will screw right into that, just like a CB whip would.
You would want to make sure that you put something hard like a piece of metal on before you clamp down, because over time you're gonna keep clamping and you're gonna eventually tear that piece of wood up.
Yeah, that's true, I guess.
Yeah, that's a good suggestion there. Put something between you to keep the fence safe.
Oh,
yeah, I can go to Home Depot and probably get some extra EMT conduit and just kind of create bumpers from that.
Well, I mean, if you're gonna go through all that, and build something, you could literally just do the same thing. Like if you're gonna use Wolf River coil or hamstick or something like that, you could just set up a zip tied onto the metal on your back patio and leave it up all the time. It'd be on your property too.
Yeah, but it can't attach stuff.
Well, it's not technically. It's temporarily. I mean, if they say something to, a couple of zip ties, snap, snap, what are you talking about?
What are you talking about? There you go. I like it.
Well, yeah, the other thing is you go, no, I thought that meant that you couldn't nail anything to the wall.
Nothing permanent, right?
Yeah, it's nothing. It's not permanently attached to the subject at hand. And it's not invasive, not intrusive. I mean, you pop a couple of zip ties. What is it? Nothing.
Another thing,
And I order plenty of zip ties on Amazon anyway.
Mm-hmm.
The fence that you're talking about, we're talking about like the little patio fence that's like, the size of a room, right?
Effectively.
So if you had, one idea that may look a little funny but blend in a little bit better is if you ever had got like a patio table with an umbrella with like an extension that comes up out of the umbrella that goes up like 4 feet off the umbrella, so you're getting like 10, 12 feet high at least, then that'd be higher than your fence.
Yeah, the underside of the upstairs balcony is like 10 feet.
Oh.
Yeah.
And you're also.
I didn't realize I thought it was like an open area. The patio area was an open area.
No, there's the upstairs apartment balcony directly over my patio.
Gotcha.
I mean, in the same sense, if he wants to do something like that, I mean, you could always go with a push-up mast that you can zip tie and kind of kick out at an angle to get up and out.
Now, what would be cool is if you could work out a deal with your upstairs neighbor, and like he said, run a mast up and maybe hang a flag off of it so it blends in.
I'm trying to think. There's a mount out there, and I was turned on to it because I worked FT8 with this lady out of Arizona, if I'm thinking correctly, and she'd worked pretty much all U.S. states and all major continents off of a hamstick on an apartment, second floor apartment window.
Was she doing CW?
No, FT8.
Oh,
and,
FT8.
she had a lot of phone contacts in there as well, but like for the majority, she'd worked everything on digital.
Wow.
So, I mean, that put me on a new mindset to, what you could do with a hamstick and apartment window.
Well, I do most of my POTA activations with hamsticks, so.
Just get a telescoping antenna and strap it to a cooler and set the cooler out there when you want it.
That's not bad either.
You don't have a lawn in your front, do you? It's just all concrete?
No lawn. It's all concrete.
Wonder if you could tie like a ground spike and be able to tie that to the fence, like temporarily, just to get that, just to be able to, and also run some radials from the inside, just so at least we'll have something.
So do you think there's any way we could make an antenna out of the pool?
Probably you could make an antenna out of anything.
I'm packing up.
Yeah, put it on a G90. Josh has shown us that. If you can, that's all you need to do right there, Poke. You just need to get a floating lawn chair.
Yeah, what I was looking at was the MFJ 1622 as a possible option, but I'm not 100% sure with that.
Just get yourself one of those gigantic barbecue smokers and attach the aerial to that. That'll be a ground plane,
Can you do Christmas lights?
Yeah, go around the edge of your balcony with Christmas lights and tell them, they flash on their own. We'll start rubbing off.
Actually, yeah, I could, but they do get a little bit annoyed if they're up for too long. So
check it out. I just thought of something, and hearing Mike's voice just brought it back to me. Have you looked into flower pot antennas?
That's usually only 2 meters.
Yeah, that's for VHF, UHF.
No, I've seen some 20 meter and 20, 10, and 6 flower pots.
Well, yeah, but they're like 32 foot tall.
On the Christmas light thing, I mean, it's like if it's because it's Christmas, but like, what about the cool patio lights that people hang that are just white for just light that looks cool? Would they market that as for as far as being up like year round?
Yeah, they'd probably have a problem with it.
I know it's massively overpriced, but has anyone thought about the go-to antenna?
It's the same problem, and you have an elevated radial.
And it's quite long, isn't it?
Well, yeah, again, we're going back to it's going to be inconvenient, but you can put it up for a little while when you're operating, pull it down when you're not.
So here's the deal. Let me see if I can throw this out there. I think a lot of us are saying, yeah, we can just put it up for a little while and then we can pull it down when we're not. That's a horrible way to live with ham radio. Like you're going to get tired of that really fast, and then you're going to be done with it. You're not going to want to do it anymore. Trust me, I know, because I was living that life for a while. It's not conducive to being active on ham radio. If you have to go set up an antenna and you take 45 minutes total, right, to set up and take down, it just becomes draining, right? So I think most of the options here are trying to get to the point where you don't have to be taking something down, putting it up, taking it down, putting it up. I don't like that light. Let's turn over this way. There we go. That's where you're going to want to be. I think that's what we're trying to aim for, because it's a pain. Unless you're doing parks on the air, that's different. But if you're done home station, like I'm going to wake up and go like click radio on, make contacts, FT8, whatever, you're not going to be wanting to do a bunch of that. Set up antenna, take it down. Trust me. Trust me.
All right, kids.
Yeah.
I'm hitting the road.
Like one of the things I was thinking with the mag loop, at least,
take it easy, Mike,
is that I could just leave it attached.
Thank you, buddy.
73, Mike. 73. I was thinking I could just leave it attached to the lighting stand and just pull that in when I don't want to use it.
What is a lighting stand?
Like a C stand, like something that would you normally attach like lighting equipment to for like filming.
Yeah, but how are you going to get the antenna up in the air?
I've got a rotator head on it that I've got about a 7-8 foot piece of EMT conduit on it.
Yeah, but that's still not very high. So what do you mean?
Well, that's why you wanted a mag loop, because you only have to get it 6 feet off the floor.
You don't even have to get it 6. You have to get it the full loop diameter up off the ground. Mag loops.
What about a jump pole?
So, I'm looking online. If he does the traditional flower pot design for 20 meters alone, it has to be anywhere between 8 and 10-foot tall, depending on the coax that he uses.
That's not bad.
Well, you said the overhang's 10 feet.
Yeah, I might be able to squeeze that in.
I'm trying to find a better write down of it, but the site that I originally seen that on is apparently the information is gone because the site is down.
Are you allowed to hang like hanging flower pots from your roof or ceiling from your patio?
No.
Not at all. You just put this on the ground, man. That's what's great about it. You can design it and disguise it as a flower pot.
Well, I thought you said it had to be like 10 feet tall, though.
You come down to back to ground mounted quarter waves with radials.
That's what it sounds like.
Then you're back to MFJ 19, whatever it is, quarter, telescopic and stuff.
I would
1917-9 is 17 foot tall, so. And but you could do something like a vertical or a ham stick vertical, and then get one of those MFJ artificial grounds. And of course, that really is just a tuned counterpoise, but they work. I know some guys that actually have ground rods and still use those tuned counterpoises. I don't know why, but they claim it works better.
Yeah, I don't know. Why don't well, let's approach this like we're trying to fix a car, right? What do we do when we try and fix a car? We try and go with the least expensive. So what's the least expensive way to get you on the air?
Single wire.
A what wire?
Single
wire.
Yeah, but then you're going to have the radials.
You said so.
Pac-10 end-fed half-wave mini.
Well, that's what I meant. Literally just like one run of wire with a tuner in.
Well, that's not cheap then, because does he own the tuner? You have the tuner?
I do not have a tuner.
Yeah, so that's
again
cheapest. Like, where are we going cheap?
What?
I think.
Well,
cheap's
what
gonna
radio?
Yeah, what radio?
I'm looking at the FTDX10.
Oh, that has a built-in tuner.
Yeah, so
it's only a 3-to-1.
Yeah, but
should probably get him where he's going.
What about on verticals? If he finds a good, like, if he goes online and finds Hustler used to make those trap 20 meters from mobiles, which is
they
like
still
a ham
do.
stick.
They still do.
Yeah, I would rather you just go hamstick at that point then. Like just get the clampy bit going with the hamstick and get it on that fence. Run the radials into the planter. That's it.
You're talking about the Hustlers with the coils in the middle.
Nah, the ones that I got the coils at the bottom. I've got a 2040 and I think a 10.
Yeah,
look at the stack.
I have mine on an extension post, so that's why I always think of it as being in the middle.
Yeah, me too. And I've got that thing on the top of that post that allows you to put 3 resonators on it, so it's like 3 different bands on one stick.
All right, guys. I think I'm gonna call it though. I'm gonna head out because I got to get up early, and we're gonna try and do the CW thing, hopefully tomorrow morning, and then I'm going fishing with this guy. And here's the birthday boy right there. Wave.
Hey-o, happy early birthday.
So I'm gonna head out, and thanks so much, guys.
Man.
Appreciate you hanging out, and we'll catch up with you soon. More videos coming soon. I did a. People were asking me. It's like, hey, in those park videos you do, you didn't test Baofangs. Why didn't you test a Baofang? Well, I did. 4 of them, and it should go up next week. So if anybody's interested in that, stay tuned because it's coming. All right, take it easy, guys. I'll talk to you later. Good night.
Night, Josh.
See ya.
Night, Josh.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Have fun. Happy birthday.